This wonderful book, which I read in one breath, inspires so many good memories, so many stories of homemaking, stories that my grandmother passed on to me. And I hope that today, my creative friend, it will spark something wonderful in your imagination too. So listen in and go and get creative, really creative, and think, how can you improve something in your surroundings to reflect your inner world? And I do hope that you will share what you have created right here in the comments of this video. My thoughts about a home are very much inspired by The Hobbit, which was read aloud to me as a child. Their homes were described as secure bases, with soft armchairs, round windows, and large stone houses filled with gifts from good friends. Not at all grand. Signe and I have talked about having a map of the forest up in the living room, so we can draw our favorite forest trails on it, just like Bilbo did in The Hobbit. We also want to mark on the map where we find edible mushrooms in the autumn, so we can remember the good spots for next year. I look forward to the cold winter setting in. Then we put a piece of firewood in the wood-burning stove before we go for a walk in the snowy woods. And when we get home, the living room is nice and cozy, and the kids can warm their little hands and noses. Normally, I am not the person who spends much time in the kitchen. I'm far better at eating food than making it. But I like to bake bread, and I do it often. It's the only time I feel at home in the kitchen, apart from when I'm doing the dishes or peeling potatoes. When I bake rolls, I make the dough the evening before. It takes maybe twice as long as brushing your teeth, so it's not long. In the morning, I wake up a bit before the alarm goes off, typically around 6 a.m. And then I get up, put on my slippers, and go into the kitchen. Edith likes to sleep a little longer, and while I get up as soon as the alarm goes off, she sleeps on soundly. We are different that way. Within 10 minutes, I'll have shaped the rolls, sprinkled sesame seeds on them, and put them in the oven. Then I make coffee and set the table as I listen to the radio. It has become a morning ritual that I like very much. I like the everyday. It's repetition. In a life where everything moves quickly and you have to be on top of everything, it's nice to have a morning routine. Something I just do without having to think too deeply about it. It gives me peace of mind to know exactly what I'm going to do in the first hour, and actually, I believe it's healthy. When the smell of freshly baked rolls has drifted to the bedroom and I call, Edith wakes and comes down to the living room. It is wonderful to start the day together over a freshly baked roll. We both benefit from it. When you have lived together for 30 years, you know what the other person thinks before they say it aloud, and vice versa. Sometimes you take each other for granted, and it's not always possible to think beyond yourself. But if you want to live together for many years, you have to continue to see each other. I know very well there is no art in baking rolls, but sometimes I think of it as a way to show Edith that I am grateful to her and for what we have together, and that I like doing things that can make her happy. When we meet the day together in the morning before we head off in different directions, it affirms our cohesion. We are alive in relation to each other and share something special together right there in that moment. Isn't that beautiful? So I wonder, what sentiment is this book inspiring for you to share? For me, as we read the first little story there about the map of the woods in the living room and the little children warming up their noses as they come in from the walk in the cold outside, it reminds me of those special moments that I shared with my grandparents. And there is a tradition in my family, which my grandmother was doing, and then she passed this on to my mom. And that is collecting elderflowers and making this wonderful cordial, which is something that we shared in the really heat of summer, because it's made with fresh lemons, and it's sweet and it has a bit of vanilla inside, and they boil these lovely big elderflower flower heads in the water for several hours, and then they strain it and becomes like thick and syrupy, and you can then add water and ice or fizzy water, and some people even put it in wine, like in white wine, and this elderflower cordial, it's given to guests when they arrive, and we shared wonderful conversations over it, or we took it for a picnic in the meadow or under the big walnut tree where my grandmother and I were reading books. And this elderflower cordial has traveled to England, and many a time I have been able to offer the slice from my homeland to my friends who live in this country. So yes, something wonderful about these home traditions, about something that is so tangible that we translate into our experience, and then that we can share with another person. Like these two lovely people were sharing this freshly baked bread, something that is a simple ritual, but is so very soul nourishing. So there you go. Again, I shared one of my memories with you, as this book always, as I said, inspires me to think and to remember of those wonderful memories. So I invite you to share yours right here in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you in another Creative Spark tomorrow.